no, I'll talk about anything and everything. I'm an open book for sure.
It's called Being Blank, and I'm your host, Maria Sid Medina. Oh my gosh, Rubina! I'm so glad
Maria!
we're connecting. I have followed you on social media for a few years now. I think it was literally your personality that caught my eye, and I have been wanting to connect with you for so long. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much for doing this.
No, I'm so grateful. I still follow you too, girl. Just so you know. The feeling is
Oh,
mutual. I follow you on TikTok. I feel like you're more active on TikTok, maybe. But yeah,
yeah.
your videos hit, girl, just culturally as a woman, as existing in this economy. Just so you know, I also follow you and I'm a
Oh,
fan of what you do too. So
thank you.
yeah.
Well, okay, so for those who didn't follow you,
Mhm.
they're now following you after your appearance on Big Brother because I feel like
Yeah.
you were a fan favorite, first of all. You stood out among everyone.
Is
And
that
I'm not
true?
saying that because I'm biased, but I mean, you really, I mean, your personality shown. I loved how you went out there and you didn't just identify as a strong, independent woman, as somebody who's 5'2", what did you say? You
Or
said,
nine?
what, you're 4'9"? Oh,
Yeah,
I
well
gave you three
below.
inches.
I know, and that's a lot. That's why I was like, I would take it, but I don't want to lie. Yeah, well below that. But yeah,
Oh, I didn't.
small.
Yeah, so 5'2", I think you said, or 4'9" small, as
Yes.
a bartender. But what I loved is that you also put it out there that you're a first generation Filipina. Why was that important for you to say that? Yes.
Uh, yeah, it's so important because girl representation matters. And I remember not really seeing anyone growing up. I don't know if you remember, like the closest I could get to seeing representation was like Tila Tequila or Lucy Liu, and none
Yeah.
of them were, Filipinos. And there's just something very specific about being a first generation Filipino American, especially me not being a nurse, being in my 30s, not
Right.
being married, not having any children. And so I just really wanted to make sure that it was known that I'm doing something different here. And not just being on the show, but in general, I do everything differently
Yeah.
in being a first generation Filipino American. So
I know.
yeah, that's
That really stood out to me. That made me proud as a first generation Filipina because I think a lot of, I think why it resonated with me is because I feel like a lot of our parents who came to America, they expected us to get into the medical field or become a lawyer. I don't know if your parents said that,
oh
but
yeah,
my
very
parents definitely
minimum,
said that.
doctor or
Yeah.
lawyer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Doctor or lawyer. That's what it was.
Yeah,
And
those
that's
are
what
the two
they
options.
thought was success, right?
Mhm.
But now they're saying
Absolutely.
that there are other avenues. So I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's why even like with what you do and like that there's not only one way to be successful. Even though I understand, I totally respect why that was what they wanted. It's for them to feel secure for us. But
Right.
I think one, safety is an illusion in general. Like even you could have a job and you could seem safe, but you could lose it any day. But I think
Exactly.
it's so important to show that like yes, there's this safe way, but there's also reward in taking risks and doing something differently and taking the path less traveled.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just always how I've been unintentionally. That's just, I don't know if it's because I'm Aquarius or what, but I've always just been
I think that's
never.
why, yeah, I mean, that's what drew me to you is that you don't really care what the norm is. You go against the grain, right? You're going to do you.
Yeah, always, always. Yeah, even if it's, I mean, I don't even want to be that way. It's just who and how I am. Like, since being a little kid, I've always been just like a little weirdo girl and like a little emo weirdo. Like, never like the typical thing that you would do or be or like as a girl, even. But even more so as like a Filipina. I mean, the one thing I will say that is very Filipino about me is I love karaoke. Okay. I love karaoke and I love eating. But other than that, the traditional norms that would be what you do as your first generation.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
By the way,
subscribe.
you speak Tagalog.
Tagalog. Yes, yes. Oo, opo, opo. Yeah.
Girl, when
It's
I
very
saw
situational.
that, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm impressed. You speak more than I can speak. So, I mean, just
Oh,
all around, you just make me proud as
wait.
a fellow Filipino.
Can you just know, like, I just need you to know, like, that for me, like, I know I didn't win Big Brother, but the fact that there were any other, like, Filipino American girls out there who were like, hey, I feel so seen. Like, I could cry at any moment thinking that someone out there feels seen or someone out there feels even proud that because I didn't know how I would be received
Yeah.
representing, right? Like, I just hope to represent. And so that there are people who do feel proud of how I repped,
Oh,
it makes me so emotional. And like I didn't even think that I was a fan favorite. I don't know much. I didn't watch anything. I didn't read up on anything to protect
oh.
my so I don't know. So you
Okay,
saying that
well, let
even
me tell you, when as soon as you graced my screen and you were like, "I'm Rubina, I am first generation Filipina," I was like, "Yes, she is. Yes, she
oh,
is." So,
oh.
yeah, I was just so proud of you, not just as somebody who's been a fan from afar, but just again for that the fact that you were representing just so many first generation Filipinas and us paving our way here in America. Maybe a little
Yeah.
bit far from the path that our parents thought we would take, but you know,
Right.
we're showing them that we're successful. Okay, so I don't know how much you can talk about Big Brother, but I do have
Okay.
a few questions.
Yeah, let's do
How
it.
long were you in the house? Like
Oh
literally
my
how
God.
many days?
Girl. So the full total that you can in there, oh my God, is 90. I made it 87 out of 90 days.
That is insane.
It is insane. No cell phone, no internet. Well, we were the last people on earth who knew about the changes in who found out about the changes in the
Oh my
election.
gosh.
Well, the last people on earth to find out because, like, yeah, no phone, no internet, no music, no reading, no writing, none of the support systems that normally you have to make you feel like, okay, I can get through this. Like it's built to break, and it's a pressure cooker, and 87 days. Wow.
I mean, I can't go a day without my phone. Ask my husband.
Yeah. You're right, right. And yeah, right. You're not talking to any of the people that you know, and you're just, with a bunch of strangers. But I always say like strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. In this house though, like it was so many different kinds of people and added on to the fact that you're like rooming with them, so
Right,
like that's
right.
an added factor. It's like you're living with these people. It's different if you just meet and you leave. Living with them 24/7, these are the only people you talk to. This is the only thing you're doing for 87 days is crazy. I've heard someone else refer to it as like bougie prison. It's like
Bougie
bougie prison,
person.
like, but you like don't even make a lot of decision. You're stripped of like the normal decision making you would have.
Yeah.
So when I got out, I was like, the supermarket was so overwhelming. I was like, I don't even know what to do here.
But did it make you, because you're, you know, you have your day job, but you're also an influencer for those,
Yeah,
you know, who may not know who you are. Um,
right.
was that weird not to create content, not to, you know, does it
Ah,
make you pause and think like maybe I can live without my phone, like not as often?
yeah, it actually did. Well, because like, what other scenario would there be that you don't use your phone for that long.
Yeah.
So like being someone who as a content creator was always, I just remember always thinking, man, I wish I could record this. Or there are live feeds, thank God for Big Brother, where I'd literally call out, I'd be like, hey, can you guys take a picture of this? And they would. And then
Oh,
I
that's cool.
realized they sent it to me. But the thing that was really weird for me was like that other people were in charge of the memories being made. Like
Oh, I
other
didn't even
people
think
in
about
charge of
that.
the edit. That's what you do. You don't know what edit you're going to get. You just have to accept that obviously you're not in control of the story that is told about you. And for me, I think being a content creator actually helped because
Hmm.
part of that was me releasing like, listen, people are always going to have opinions about you, and you just have to know yourself well enough to know that you know you, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about you, right? And so even more on a bigger scale with this, I had to just be okay with people are going to hate you. People are going to love you because people can hate flowers and flowers are
Right.
beautiful, right?
Yeah. No,
So,
as a TV reporter, I used to say like I could do a story about bunnies and somebody would find like something
something they hate about
negative to
bunnies.
say about a bunny. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. But not having my phone was actually, it was nice, to be honest. It was a nice decompression from like always having to check and be on it. And that part of my life was being put on hold was actually kind of nice for me. Thanks. Shout out to my sister. She was handling my socials. I was like,
Well,
sorry, girl. It was
at least you
overwhelming.
know how to like that you can survive without your phone because I
Yes.
literally don't know if I can survive without my phone.
I think
Anyways,
you could. If push comes to shove and $750,000 on the line,
I
I
mean,
think
yes, there would
that's
have to be an
different.
incentive on the other side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you almost made it.
I
Listen,
know.
Rabina, you may not have won the show, but you won in the showmance category.
I know.
Tabina, Tabina.
I I know. I can't believe it. I because if it, like if you don't know me before this, or if you didn't follow me before, like my whole, like most of my platform was like, you don't need a man, you can be happy, like you don't have, the only way to be successful is not to just, get married and have kids, even though like I'm not saying I'm anti that. I'm just saying don't wait until you have that to be happy or enjoy your life. So that was
Hmm.
my whole platform and everything I talked about. So to have found, I'm gonna say it, the love of my life, like truly the
What?
one, like this is my person. Like this is actually my person.
Oh my
They did.
gosh.
I know. I can't believe it. I really can't believe
Okay,
it.
because I feel like a lot of people who have
Yeah,
watched from afar
yeah,
have probably wanted to know, like, is this like real?
real. Oh,
Yeah.
of course, I want to know. I remember when I first got out, or well, even when I was in there, I was like, I don't know, like it's okay if it was just in the show, I totally understand. Like, it's an environment where we only had each other, but then like getting out and actually getting to like spend time one on one finally, and just us, it's even better. It's like
Yeah.
100 times better than I ever thought it would be. And like he's met my family now, and
Oh
like
wow,
in
it's
addition to
official,
my,
official.
yeah, I haven't really met his family yet. I feel kind of bad about that. But the fact that he's met my Filipino family, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
That's
and if
different.
I'm not going to say all of us, but we can be,
Yeah.
a lively bunch. And so the fact
Yeah.
that yeah, he's met the family, that's
Oh
big
yeah.
in Filipino families.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, and especially with me and him meeting like my friends, because look, I'm 36 now. So like the friends that I have are like lifers. They're gonna be like, if I introduce you to them, I'm not just introduce. It's not like I'm the kind of person who dates around and I'll introduce anyone to anyone. No, like I'm only introducing you if I feel like it's serious.
Yeah.
I'm just at that point now. So yeah, I feel so like I know I didn't win, but like we really, like I want something that money cannot buy. Like you will, I don't know.
Oh.
Girl, I'm not on dating apps. Someone would have had to break into my house for me to go on a date, like with somebody. That's the only way that was ever gonna
I think
happen.
I remember seeing videos of you like going on a date with yourself.
Yes,
I
I was
mean,
head dating me.
yeah, that's the
So
kind of
heavy dating.
content that I was like, yes, girl, this is like, we need more women like you out there. So is it safe to say then that did you go on the show like thinking that you'd ever find love, or you were just like, I'm going in there to win this money and that's it?
Yeah, ask anyone, ask any of my friends, ask anybody. I had zero concern about ever meeting. I was like, and didn't show up and like, oh, let me make sure I look cute and like getting make sure that somebody finds me attractive.
You
Like,
did look
no.
cute though.
Oh, thanks, girl. Thank you. No, but see, I really did not go into thinking I could even meet anyone because I had not. I've been single for 4 years. I mean, when I say single, like not dating, like not like
Wow.
pretty much celibate for 4 years, and like I didn't really even care. I was just so happy with investing in myself and giving the love that I so freely gave to someone else
Yeah.
back to myself that I didn't think that it was even a possibility that I would meet someone in this house. Like I was like, there's 16 of us. Oh, really? I'm gonna meet some. Oh, this is when I'm gonna meet someone.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I saw like from the beginning. Sorry if you can hear my dogs, by the way.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just bought a puppy, and so
Oh,
they're
congrats.
like they're like playing and fighting with each other.
Oh,
So
that's
sorry.
cute though. That's good though. That's
Yeah.
good.
They're just gonna have to wait for a little bit. No, but I saw like in the first few episodes, like there was a little bit of like touchy going on already. Like
I,
it was
you know,
brewing from the beginning, I feel like. Am I wrong?
everyone says that, but it's so funny because like I feel like in the house in general, we're all pretty. I remember watching being like, why is everyone hugging all the time? Like, I don't get it. Everyone hugs, everyone cries. I don't understand. But in that house, as a pressure, like you as a human being, you need physical touch. Like you just need it. So the normal barriers that you would have with like strangers are like thrown out the window because these are the only people you have. These people are your
Yeah.
family 100 days, quote unquote. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, I was holding hands with my friend Tico, or I would like just hug everyone every morning. Like, but I think people clocked it so fast with me and Tucker.
I saw it.
They, I, yeah, well, I don't, here's the thing though. Um, so if when it comes to like live show days, so like let's just go reference a specific type of situation. Live show days, if we're sitting next to each other, we don't choose where we sit. We're
Oh.
told where to sit.
Oh,
So yeah, so people don't know that,
that's
and
some
it's
good
like
tea.
right, and so you think, oh, why are they always sitting next to each other on like live show? Like they made us sit next to each other, and then look at the memory wall. On the memory wall, they put me and Tucker next to each other. So
So
something
do you
tells me
think they
thing.
knew?
Something tells me casting knew because obviously they interview us all separately. We have to take like, some personality tests and they get to
Mm.
and like tell me that's not matchmaking.
Girl,
That's
that's some good
so
matchmaking
matchmaking.
though.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, Loki, they did a good job. Like
I mean, yeah, because you guys aren't the only couple who came out of Big Brother. So,
I
and
know.
I mean, you guys all look so happy. So,
It's
how
so
long
funny.
has it been then that you guys have been dating?
So we have this is such a big discussion because we can't decide. He wants to be like, oh, it's from the day we met. I'm like, that's not from the day we met. Okay, no. But theoretically, there's one episode where like we announced to the house basically where we're like, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
So we consider it from then, and I think that's like August 8th,
Okay.
August 8th or
Oh,
something.
wow.
So
So it's been a while. It's been a
now
minute.
it's been a while. I'm realizing, like, damn, I'm in a relationship.
Girl, you better get ready for your 1 year
I
anniversary.
know. I don't even know what that means. Oh my God, it's been so long.
You're so cute.
Oh, oh my
Okay, so
gosh.
one of the last things I want to talk about regarding the show is, when he did get evicted and he
Yeah.
does that post interview, he got emotional when it came to you.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah,
And
when
again, all these things I did not know.
I mean, so have you seen that part?
Yeah, I did because well, there are some fan pages who like created videos out of it, and that's the only reason I see it. Because I decided I made it a note to myself to like not backtrack and like try to like catch up on everything. That would be
Hmm.
too much, very, very overwhelming. But I saw the part where he really did get emotional when Julie Chen asked him like, are you gonna like how are you gonna do this when like not seeing her,
Yeah.
um yeah, and I didn't even think that he would be watching. I don't know what it was. I was like, oh, he's probably not gonna watch. He's gonna catch up with his life. He's gonna forget all about me. It's fine. But he was actually watching and like loudly supporting, like being my biggest
Hmm.
cheerleader. I had no idea. I did not expect that.
Because
And
you guys
meanwhile,
had a
in the house,
conversation like, is
yeah,
this real or not?
yeah,
So
we
like,
did have that very long
yeah.
conversation.
And so,
Because it's like, one, he's an actor. He does act, he does things. And I'm not gonna lie, I've taken some acting classes too. But like in that house, it's like you don't know what to trust. You don't know what
mhm.
people are, like you just don't know if someone's just using you to get numbers, if someone's using you to just stay safe or using you as a shield or like, so that was like the conversation we had before he got evicted,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So, I mean, and then you don't even see it though, that he becomes
know.
emotional during that post interview. So you're like, oh my God, it is real. It really is real.
Yeah, now, well, even when I got out and I saw, because finale, right? Everyone, I've got to remember finale and being like, oh, we're gonna see each other again, and I don't know what that's gonna be like, and I don't know what's the expectation, like, is it like, okay, we're cool, obviously we had this thing in the house, like, but I didn't expect for him to bring me flowers. Apparently, he brought way more flowers, but production was like, you can only bring a few on stage. But yeah, I didn't. There was like a countdown. He was counting down the days, and I was just
And you
trying to
weren't?
survive. I wasn't really because like I still had to play the game, right? So it was so different. Like
Right.
for my survival, I had to like kind of put all my feelings on hold because it was killing me. Like when
Yeah.
he first those first few days after he got evicted, I was like, what is this pain? I forgot how this feels. It felt like I don't even know because I had not been in a relationship in so long. I
Yeah.
forgot like it was like physical pain. There's a video of me like cracking up because I was in so much pain in the kitchen. I'm like, wow, this hurts. What's wrong?
I
So
love how you process your emotions.
yeah, I so loudly across them. It's like physical. But yeah, I just didn't. I yeah, I didn't know what it would be, so I had to put all those feelings on hold. So when we got out, I was kind of playing catch up with his feelings, where he was able to have them more freely and openly because he could see that I was still
Mhm.
having them, whereas I was in the house having to just keep playing the game and push them to the side so that I would survive.
Right.
And yeah, so
You
two
almost
very
made it though. You almost
I
made it.
know. I almost made it to final three. I was pushing so hard for a women's final three. I tried
Girl, I
so
was
hard.
rooting for
Um,
you.
and like, thank you so much. Because a lot of people are like, what was your strategy? Like, what were you doing? And like, listen, if you're in that house at all, the strategy to survive and get as far as you can, it's a strategy in itself to get that
Yeah.
far. Like,
Everything changes though, too. You have to always
right.
pivot.
Yes, every week with how who's left and what's happening in the game and like alliances. So like I'm not gonna say I'm like the most strategic person in the game, but the way that I played, um, my goal was to be as authentic and as me as possible and see how far that could take me. Just leaning into like being a good person and just having a positive mindset and like, not letting anything, protecting my peace and not letting anything get me down, even when I was on the block five, six
Mhm.
times. And so like, yeah, people want to be like, oh, you didn't have a strategy. I'm like, why don't you go in there and see how it goes for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like for me, I'm proud that I was truly myself and it got me that far, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So
I was like, oh my God, she almost got there. But on the other side of that, she has no idea that there's this man who was crying for her and waiting for her. So
I,
can you clarify? He lives
yeah,
on the East Coast and you live on the
yeah,
West Coast? Like
yeah,
long
I hate,
distance.
girl, I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I don't like it. I hate it. I would like
Yeah.
for that to end as soon as possible, but like obviously we want to do it the right way. I'm not trying to like maybe make any rash decisions or like, rush anything necessarily because we still have our lives. Like, I still have a lot of things that I do here that I have to do here and like my whole family's here. So we're working on it. I mean, eventually we want those lives to
Yeah.
mix. If
Yeah.
anything, we were thinking we would be bi-coastal because he already has a place there and my family's here that we can
Yeah.
make it work that way. But I am manifesting within this next year that we live together because
Oh.
I'm 36. I'm ready. I already
Yeah.
know I love this
It's
man.
not that you're just ready, it's that you
Yeah.
deserve it, Rubina. You totally
Oh,
deserve it. I mean, you did the work for yourself.
I'm gonna
I'm a
cry.
big believer in like you got to work on yourself before you
Yes.
can be happy with somebody else. Until you can be happy with yourself, you can't
Right.
really share that happiness with somebody else because no one else
Right.
can make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. So
Right.
I've seen that work that you've put in, and I just feel like you deserve all this.
That means so much to me. I feel like that's the general, I like sometimes it takes me a minute to process that. Like that, I think that's the general feeling of like
Yeah.
the women who follow me. There's like, I was worried that my audience would be upset with me because they're like, it's
Because you're
me
not single, Rubina.
180. Yeah, exactly. I'm like 180 from what I was, but I think everyone understands that I really did put in the work to align and attract with the right kind of person when it was going to be right, not just because I was heavy on staying single over settling. Like I
Right.
would rather be by myself. If you're not going to add to my life or make it better, then I'm just going to do me. And
Preach.
until right, and then until I meet that person who does that, then cool. Otherwise, I don't care.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. It means
That's what I
so
said
much.
to my husband, by the way, before
Right?
we
Oh,
got
really?
married. I was like, boo, I have a great life. You're going to have to
Yeah.
compliment it or
Right.
upgrade it. Otherwise, I'm good with my life.
Exactly. And that's girl. Exactly. And I want more women to understand that. And that's what I mean when I say like it's not just about, oh, you're supposed to get married. Oh, you're supposed to have kids. It's like,
Yeah.
why would you not? Let's take the time to love ourselves first in a society that prays so hard on us not loving ourselves
Right.
that we attract inevitably by loving ourselves the right person, the right opportunities, the right life for ourselves. So
I really believe that. Like the energy you put out is the energy that you're going to attract. And I feel like he is like your perfect match. You're both of your energy together. I'm like, you guys are perfect together.
I can't believe it. It's really like truly, yeah, he just gets me and I get him. And like even when we don't, he just understands how my brain works and I understand how his works. And that's like so important because there are a lot of times I don't have to really explain. He just gets it. And that's so important. Even though, I mean, at the end of the day, like culturally, there's going to be a lot of things he's going to have to understand, like we're going to
Yep.
have to work on
Yep.
being Filipino. But other than that, I feel really so lucky that I did find like a match. Like it's not that like one of us is better than the other. It's like we're truly like right there with each
So
other.
crazy
So
that all you had to do was go on Big Brother to find your, your love.
all I have to do is spend 87 days not talking to anyone, just away from the world. And
That's the
it
perfect
was
price
worth it
to
though.
pay.
I will say it was worth it. It was
Yeah.
totally worth the stress and the trauma and the everything
Girl,
of being in
it's a
that.
lot. It's a lot. Like more power to you. I don't think I could have done it.
Thanks.
So
Thank you.
I want to talk about really quickly. I just have a few last questions for you
Let's do
because
it.
I know you're so busy. You, like you said on the show, you're a bartender, but you were also this badass creator. Like, when did you get into that and what made you start doing that? Because when you went into the Big Brother house, you already had a huge following.
Yeah, actually, I had been working on growing it. My goal for 2024, right? My goal was like I want to hit 100K. And so like I I did right before going into the house. That was like my goal. And here's the thing, and this is so important to share because yeah, I was a bartender, I was doing all that. What happened was I decided finally to start a whole new account because of the pandemic, like everyone did, right? And
Hmm.
I was learning how to roller skate. It was me sharing my journey of how terrible I was at this thing, learning how to do something new in my 30s. So I think I was 31 when I started, and I was like, you know what? Everyone's, I don't care. We're at a point like, why do I care what anyone thinks? And
Yeah.
nobody's opinions is going to pay my bills. So,
So
so
this
I
was
started
during
a
the
whole
pandemic
account.
that you decided to
Yes,
just pick up your camera and say, I'm going to document like me learning
my
how to
journey.
skate.
I did day one, day two, day three, day
That's so
today, like
crazy.
day
Okay.
one, to day 100 of learning how to roller skate. So my account was a roller skating account, just sharing my journey and like I really was terrible. I sucked. And then it turned into like I was pretty good. And then I was in a couple of music videos and then I was in a commercial and then like it led to me performing on stage with Jason Mraz and like it just opened a bunch of
So cool.
opportunities because I decided I don't care what anyone thinks. Like I decided, let me post that video. And so, yeah, I think that my whole message with that is like, girl, post the video, start the account. Who cares?
Yeah.
And I that same thing with Big Brother. I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I don't care. Here's an opportunity. Like, why would I say no? Why would I say no to something that
So have you seen everything like essentially when you look back, like everything was a
yes,
stepping stone to something bigger
yes,
and bigger and bigger?
100%. I think that's how I look at everything. Even if it's not exactly the thing I thought I would be doing or whatever, like everything's working for you. Everything in your life is working for you. It's a puzzle piece in the
Oh,
grand scheme of where you're supposed to be. And like one of my mantras in the house, like I had to, was I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be and everything works out for me. So, and I say it all the time, especially in situations where you're like, why is this happening? And then it's only when later on that you're like, oh, that had to happen so that this could,
right,
you
right.
know?
Sometimes,
Yes.
yeah, sometimes heartache and failure, it
Yes.
hurts at the moment, but when you look back, you're like, that had to happen for me to be here right now and
100%.
to appreciate too the moment sometimes, right?
Exactly. Like no rain, no flowers.
Exactly. Oh, I love
Yeah, rain,
that.
no
I didn't know
flowers.
that. Okay.
So,
So you became a creator in the pandemic. And
yes.
I mean, you reached 100K right before Big Brother. I saw your followers climb, by the way, as the show was going on.
Oh,
Did you go
that's
back
so
to your
cool.
phone where you're like, oh my gosh, this is
No, I
crazy?
didn't even. So like a lot of things I didn't even backtrack and because I mean, I didn't even I was like, oh, maybe I'll grow like 10K or like, even if it was like I don't care. I was like, cool if people follow me because they see what I'm about on my page and that it actually aligns with how I'm showing up in the house.
Hmm.
I just really wanted those two to like make sense. I mean, I pride myself on being the exact person that I say I am. And so with the Big Brother, like I guess I didn't do enough research. I'm gonna be honest, of like
Bro,
what
you're
people
so
put.
humble and modest, I swear.
Uh oh man. I feel like yeah, I think at the end of the day, I'm never gonna forget like that little girl who is just in disbelief. I don't want to say in disbelief, but like I did dream about all these things. I always thought, oh man, I'm gonna be on TV and like I want to have, and the fact that I'm doing it, I'm still like, oh my God, that little girl is doing it. I'll never, I don't think I could ever not stay grounded in that. No matter
Yeah.
whatever success or fame that I reach, it's always for the little Filipina girl
A
that
little Filipino Rubina.
yeah, yeah, the little girl in me.
So, did you think that when you started, your account skating, documenting you learning how to skate, that you would ever be here today?
Can you believe that? The journey of that. I no, I had hoped. I always hoped. And I always in my inner knowing, I was like, I I belong on TV. I just feel like something about me belongs on TV. I just did not know how I would ever get there. And that's why I really think, everything in your life, there's always a reason.
Reason.
There's always a reason. And, just taking those little leaps of faith in yourself of like, let me post that video. Let me start this account. Let
Yeah.
me say yes to this. And, if I didn't open that DM, because I was a recruit. So half of our season was recruits and half people applied. And if I didn't open that DM and reply, then I would have never one had this opportunity. I wouldn't probably be talking to you. I wouldn't meet the love of my life, and I wouldn't be doing
So
a lot
crazy.
of the things that I'm doing now. I feel
That's so
so
crazy.
It is crazy. It is
Lesson,
crazy.
read your DMs. Not every DM is a creep.
Exactly. But
Okay.
like you got to sort through, but yeah.
Yeah, you have to sort through like all of them probably, but there's a dime. There's
Yeah.
a gem in the
Mm.
dozen or so. Okay. I know you can't really talk about it, but you have something next, right? So
Yeah.
we were talking about stepping stones. I'm assuming that Big Brother opened a few doors for you.
Did. It really did. And if all I can say is this door that opened is the one that I thought I would do before even doing Big Brother. Like
Oh,
this is the one I would have thought I would have done way way more obviously than Big Brother. Big Brother was never going to be on my radar. I only really started watching it when I realized I was going to be on it, if I'm going to be
yeah.
honest. So, um yeah, I this just all makes sense. I'm like, "Oh, that's why I had to do that." So I could do this. It
Girl,
all, yeah,
exciting.
it is exciting. It is, I feel
When are we
it's,
gonna learn?
hopefully sometime later this year.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll maybe you'll be on again so you can talk about it a little bit
Oh
more.
yeah. Oh yeah. Let's do that. Well, let's circle back to this
Okay.
conversation.
Yay. Okay,
Definitely.
we
I'm
have a
so
date
down.
for later this year when you can talk about
Yay.
it. Okay.
Okay.
Last but not least, I did want to talk to you about this because I think it's really important too, our when we talk about our roots and our background, can we talk about your mom for a
Yeah,
minute?
yes, we absolutely should. Because I was kind of surprised that wasn't in my introduction in Big Brother because we did talk
Oh,
about it,
you
filmed it.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a couple of other people, like I know Cam also lost his mom, it was in his intro, and like a couple other people that were able to have it, but it wasn't part of my
Yeah.
story necessarily, which I'm okay with, because I talk about it anyway, openly,
Yeah.
on my social platforms. So yeah,
Yeah,
we
I mean,
should talk.
that's again one of the reasons why like I loved following you is because you are so real, Rubina, but you're also so raw. You talk
Oh,
about everything about you,
yeah.
and that's what makes you so genuine, like on your social platforms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, if you want to open up about it and
Yeah,
explain, just because I've kind of opened that door, but do you think she
right.
would be proud of you?
That's the biggest question I ask myself, like all like not all the time, but every now and then when I'm like making these decisions or doing these things that are like so far off the path that maybe she would have thought I would have been on. It's actually a picture of her right there.
Oh,
Um, but I everyone tells me that she would be, and I think it's different when everyone tells you, of course she'd be proud of you, but I still wonder, and I'm still, if I'm being honest, I'm still kind of not sure. All I know is that I carry her spirit with me, and
mhm.
like even when I laugh, my laugh is so specific. I realized I heard a clip of her laugh recently on like my computer. I was like, oh my gosh, I have her laugh. It's so this like when you hear her laugh, when you hear me laugh, that's actually my mom, and I think
I love that
what I
because your laugh is huge. It like fills a
it's so big.
room.
It's the biggest thing about me. I've been echolocated at music festivals and public places where they've been like, Rubina's here. I'm not even kidding you. That has happened multiple times. And so for me, when it comes to my mom and thinking about whether she would or I know that I'm not saying she wouldn't be proud of me. It's more, I think, I wonder what that conversation would be like.
Yeah.
I wonder what that conversation would be like with her. But then I also think like this is such a big thing. Like if she were still here, I don't know even know if I would have said yes to any of these
Mm.
opportunities. What I mean, there
Why,
would be
and why not? Why do you think you would have paused?
because of wanting to meet expectations of your parents, like I,
Hmm.
there's something very bittersweet about her having passed that has allowed me to be maybe more fuller version of myself
Mm.
without because at the end of the day as Filipinos you can't help but take into consideration what do my parents think or what are they going to think or like
Mhm.
what do they want, am I making them proud. But for me now it's almost turned into like I'm going to make myself proud and I
Mm.
hope that makes her proud,
Mm.
you know
Mm.
what I mean, than
So
putting
for people,
her before.
sorry, just to
Yeah.
catch people
No,
up,
no, no, go ahead.
your mom passed away. And
Right.
that's what we're talking
It was a
about.
long process. It was a very long process too.
Yeah.
It was like
What year did she pass away? How many years has it been?
so oh man, how was it many years now? Oh my gosh, I should know this. 2018, 20 maybe 2018 or 2019. I have a hard time remembering only because she was in hospice for like 9 years before that. So like I had mentally said goodbye a long time ago. And then she was um basically in a subacute facility for like 9 years where we
Hmm.
just once in a while. And then she finally naturally passed. And then that was really what opened doors for me, is where I feel like bittersweet, but it was like a burden lifted off of my chest to
Yeah.
like finally be able to like just do and be. So very, very bittersweet.
Yeah.
And in even
Can we
that,
talk
like
about
that,
that really quickly? And
yeah,
I want people to
yeah,
understand like what it is like to be, and I think this is what you're talking about, but a child of, an immigrant, of just having to live, those expectations, and
yes,
how sometimes it is a little difficult. It can be challenging. Like I didn't find my husband until my late 30s. And I remember my father telling me like, oh, you need to get married. Like there's
right,
something wrong with you because you're not married. Uh, so
exactly.
I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's more so with like, I mean, like, being Filipino, there are certain milestones you're supposed to hit at certain ages and in a specific order, right? There's an
Yeah.
order that's it's like graduate college, okay, become a nurse, okay, get married, okay, have kids,
Hmm.
and like, buy a house, right? Or
Yeah,
like
it's really
actually
in
get
that
married,
order
then buy a house.
too.
In that order. There was a
And they
timeline that
want
is
you
laid
to
out.
hit it at certain ages.
Right. And then if you don't hit at that age, then it's like you're behind, or what are
Yeah.
you doing? Or are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Something's
you're
wrong
sort of
with
like,
you.
right, right. Or something's wrong with you because why aren't you married yet? Or like so I was 19 when my mom first had a brain aneurysm. And so then from 19 to like almost 30 was a weird in between time of me just like kind of figuring out like how to be an adult and like what
Hmm.
do I do now, and like do I still go to college? Does anyone care? Or like what am I doing? So with her not being in the picture necessarily, or having to like, because my mom was very judgmental. She's scared. I was scared of my mom. Like my mom
A
scared
lot of
me.
Filipino parents are. I'm
Are
sorry.
scary.
Sorry
Yeah,
for anyone who is upset about that, but
but it's
it is
true.
very true.
It's scary.
A
You're
lot. I'm not saying
scary.
everyone, but a lot.
No, right. There's a general feeling of like I'm scared of you. I don't want to make you mad, and but then that also turned into me like wanting to rebel so hard because
Yeah,
I was like,
same.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So I think with her not being around or being able to like judge me necessarily, or tell me what to do, then I mean, like who becomes a bartender? I became a bartender. Hello, that is not the
Yeah.
dream. That is not
Yeah.
the dream. But I was really good at it and I loved it
Yeah.
and it made me happy. I don't think I could do something for almost 10 years if I didn't genuinely enjoy it.
Right. You love being around
So
people like that's your energy.
yes,
That's what feeds your
it
soul.
really is. That is it, and spoke like I loved it. And it really, I don't think I would have ever been able to do that or would have gone and done it if my mom could have been out judging me out
Yeah.
loud and telling me
Yeah.
what I'm doing. So there are a lot of decisions I have made and things I have done that I would not otherwise probably really have gone for as much if I had
Mhm.
my mom
Yeah, yeah,
there to
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just
very
want people
good.
to understand, like, we love our parents and obviously
Right,
loss is heavy, but there is this expectation to live a certain life. And I've had many conversations with my dad, again, when I was
right.
single, I was like, Dad, you need to stop because I'm the only child of yours who's traveling, who's out having fun and doing what she wants and
Yes,
filling my
living your
cup.
life.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I just want for people who don't understand that, because I don't want people to
Right.
think, oh, like, oh, aren't you like completely sad and grieving? And you can be those things, but also still feel like, hey, I can finally be myself.
Right. There's a
That grief.
duality. Of course, I was sad. I was messed up. It messed me up. It absolutely messed me up for a while. But then, there's always two choice. You always have a choice in how
Yeah.
it's always in how you react and adapt to something. And you can take your pain and let it, ruin you and bury you. And, or you can transmute it and you can be an alchemist and turn it into you doing whatever you want to do with it. I'm so about women doing whatever they want,
Yeah.
especially POC women, where
Yeah.
there is the first generation expectation, pressure to do the thing that they want you to do, when really maybe there's this other calling for you that you feel speaks to you more, that would actually like why happiness needs to be what success is, not
Yeah.
just dollars in the bank account for
Not just
me.
money. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because you can have all the money in the world and be the most unhappy person, and then what?
No.
So
Yeah,
yeah, for
I
me,
love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I just feel like there are so
yeah,
many people, and that's what the message that's resonated on my social platforms is you can be happy and you don't need to just fit this like mold that
you're
people think
right.
that we should fit, you know? So
Exactly.
thank you for saying that. Okay,
Oh no,
Rubina, I
thank you.
know you're busy, busy, busy. I'm
Uh,
so excited for you, this mysterious next chapter that you're
I
going
know.
on. Does this
I
mean that you're
know.
going to be away from Tucker? Or you can't
Um,
say?
I can't confirm or deny.
Okay, okay. Well,
Can neither confirm or deny.
Sabina
Yeah.
is going strong. I think that's what everybody just wanted to know as well. So you guys
Oh,
are going strong.
yeah. We are going strong. I love that man so much.
Somebody called you Tabina. It was the host of Big Brother. They melded
Well,
your
we
name.
thought our name was gonna be Takina. And even in the house, we made a dance. We're like Takina, Takina, but then they called us Tabina, and we had no idea. I was like,
Tabina's
oh.
better than Tabina. That's good.
But then I also like Tabina because it's more of my letters than his. So then I was like, okay, it's
Okay,
fine.
girl. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah,
I like it.
yeah. He gets two letters and I get the rest. So
Okay, last question for you before we go. Is
yeah.
there a misconception about Rubina that you want that you want to clear up?
Oh, wow. What an opportunity. Is there a misconception about me? I mean, you guys probably think that I'm taller than I am, maybe, but I'm I am here's the misconception maybe because of Big Brother. I laid low. I'm usually very outspoken. I'm usually tell you exactly what I think. I'm not afraid to say my opinion. I am very loud about what I believe to be right in people having rights and women's rights in all these things. I'm very loud about. And in the house, I really wasn't to protect myself, and that was a strategy in my of itself was just I was more of a listener there than a talker. But guess what? I'm actually a talker. I have a lot of opinions. I don't care what you think. And typically I will tell you if you're doing something wrong. So yeah, maybe the misconception is that I'm just this quiet. Nah, actually, that was strategy and follow me to find the real me. Not that I wasn't me, but I was, I laid
You had to
low.
play
But
the
yeah,
game. You had to play the
yeah,
game.
exactly. That was how I
And it
played
got
it.
you far. It got you far.
Exactly. So
We love that. We
thanks for the
love an independent, outspoken woman, independent, outspoken queen. So thank you,
uh,
Rubina, so much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. Again, I know you're super busy and you got lots going on. So I can't wait for our next date later this year when you can talk about it.
I know. Oh, maybe we should do it in person. Maybe I'll go. Where are you?
Yes. No, I'll come to you.
Okay, yeah, let's do it in person. That would
I'm
be
in the
so fun.
Bay. I'm right next to our friend, our mutual friend. I won't say his name,
Oh, okay, okay.
but
Oh, wait.
yeah.
Okay, love that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it in person next time, and we'll catch up on this thing that
All
will
right.
be.
Sounds
Yeah, yeah.
good. Thanks,
Thank you so
Rubina.
much for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Thank
And
you. All
yes,
right. Good
Filipino
luck.
women doing things.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Bye.